Howdy and welcome back. I'm Jake Donnelly and I'm here with another Jake Take. As you can see, this whole puberty thing isn't really going so well. I've yet to hit it because this is just terrible. It's like a month and a half now at this point, and it's really funny because today I'm actually going to ask my girlfriend to marry me. So I will hopefully be engaged while still waiting for puberty, which would be like the most me thing ever. Anyways, that's not what I'm going to talk about today in this latest Jake Take. No, because of that girlfriend come fiance, hopefully later today, I've been doing something that I really don't do a lot of. That is binging and watching television shows and watching movies, specifically on Netflix. And right now, I have a couple of people that have enjoyed that Don't Look Up review, so I'm going to review a couple of the things that I did watch with her while she vacationed last week with me here in a state in New England. You don't get to know which one, but hey, I don't really hide myself too much, so you can find it yourself. Well, I ended up watching 3 separate things with this young little lady last week. The first thing that I watched, and that was just miserable, an absolutely terrible experience, was The Lost Daughter. Now, The Lost Daughter is a movie that clocks in at 2 hours and 2 minutes. And within about 12 minutes or so of this movie, you want to slit both of your wrists. Not just one, you want to make sure that you get the job done. So you're not going to go horizontal, you're going to go vertical on this one. Because having no life whatsoever would be much more preferred to having to have a life and watch a movie like this. It is one of the slowest things that I have ever seen, and it's utterly incomprehensible. Nothing in the movie makes sense. There is this woman who is kind of, let's call it top heavy, but she has the personality of a drunken newt. And yet, despite all of this and not being the most attractive person in the world, she's also not homely, but because of her personality, which is just terrible, she still ends up sleeping with like a bunch of people, either gender too. Like doesn't really discriminate in this movie, which, more power to her, but she's a terrible person. She, not to give anything away in this movie, steals the doll of what appears to be an autistic girl at the beach who then cannot tell other people that this is what occurred. I was watching it and wasn't even sure what I was watching because nothing makes sense in this movie. Again, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes long. And this is something that I'm going to come back to over the next couple of minutes because eventually I just said this is one of the worst things that I have ever seen. I no longer want to watch it, but because I am me and OCD, I needed to finish the thing. And don't worry, it's terrible. It, though, has a reason for being terrible. The screenwriter and the director, Maggie Gyllenhaal. And if you've ever watched Family Guy and have enjoyed the humor of Family Guy, well, they've hit the nail on the head when it comes to the acting ability of Maggie Gyllenhaal, but I'm here to tell you that her screenwriting and directing abilities are just as good as her acting abilities. So what are those? Family Guy, let's take it away.
You and I will be the best brother-sister team since Maggie and Jake Gyllenhaal.
I'm more off-putting.
No, I'm more off-putting.
I'm more unattractive to put in a lead role.
Well, I'm a bigger box office drag.
Kids, you're both just awful.
Yeah, you're both just terrible. And Maggie Gyllenhaal, who, by the way, I really enjoyed in Stranger Than Fiction, that rom-com with Will Ferrell. That's actually one of my favorite movies and my go-to rom-com if I have to watch one. But this thing, The Lost Daughter, don't watch it. Lose the ability to look this thing up. Debuted on December 31st, and it should die by January 7th. Currently recording this on January 5th. All right, so I went from that terrible movie and decided, okay, let's watch a show. So I Stay Close. Seems like there's a lot of stuff going on in this show. I'm here to tell you, there's a lot of stuff going on in the show, but nothing really happens. You finish the first episode going, this is the dumbest thing I've seen in quite some time. And remember, I did watch Don't Look Up just about a week and a half ago. So, what happens in Stay Close? Well, there's a detective, actually there's 2 detectives, and they are married. Actually, they were married, but then there's also this stripper who's not actually a stripper, but her madam is not a bad madam. And then there's this guy that was missing, and it's all supposed to come together because now there's actually this son that's missing. But was this guy that's missing also a serial killer? Literally no internal logic to this film whatsoever. And a guy, by the way, the detective who wanted children, but whose wife didn't want children. That's actually something that hits close to me. But the wife, now ex-wife, also the detective, the lead detective guy, has only one unsolved case. And yet nobody wants to pay attention to this guy who has never not solved a case, save for one exception. But remember, in this world where there is a detective who has solved every single case, save for one, nobody pays attention to this guy. So when I say there's no internal logic to this film, yet nothing happens, to this show, and yet nothing happens while a bunch of crap is going on, not good whatsoever. So, got away from Stay Close, a terrible show, after watching a terrible movie, The Lost Daughter, and then decided, you know what, Red Notice, I have been waiting a while to watch this thing because it features three people that I know are going to entertain me. Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Gal Gadot, and, you know, the number one guy, Ryan Reynolds. Because anything that Ryan Reynolds is in lately is worth the watch, because even if it is bad, it is still going to make you laugh. And I'm here to tell you that is the only reason to watch this film. Gal Gadot, I love you. I am an adopted fellow countryman of yours. Terrible. Just awful. Although, oh my God, Gal Gadot being an actual human being that speaks actual words and shares like the same genomes as I do, that's incomprehensible. That woman is gorgeous. She is damn near perfect. Her Israeli accent, though, still kind of comes in whenever she wants to speak English, and so you're never really quite sure what accent she's speaking in. It's the Israeli accent. And then Dwayne Johnson, a guy that is always entertaining, is not entertaining at all in this one. The most jacked FBI forensic analysis behavioral analyst in the FBI's history, in probably any government's history, The Rock. Yes, he is trying to track down an art thief, or just a thief in general, and that is Ryan Reynolds. But there are a bunch of chases and there are a bunch of action scenes in this movie that, again, don't make any internal logic. So The Rock can jump from like 60 feet in the air, fall through a canvas that doesn't stop his fall whatsoever, and then bounces up. And then later in the movie, The Rock gets trucked by a bull in Spain and bounces right back up. Although, now that I think about it, that's probably realistic. But so this movie is supposed to be like action-based, and there's some suspense, and there's a mystery and a reveal that you can see coming from a mile away, even though, again, it doesn't make any internal logic whatsoever. But another thing about this movie, it's more than 2 hours long. It's like every single movie or show at Netflix doesn't have an editor. I am a connoisseur of crappy movies. I enjoy them so much because growing up, you would sit there and at most you would spend 90 minutes watching something that you can then make fun of after with all of your friends and all of your siblings. But now, when you're watching these crappy movies and these crappy television shows, they take forever. Like The Lost Daughter, coming in at 2 hours and 2 minutes, there's so much time where nothing happens and you're just like, okay, let's go, and nothing ever happens. This movie, The Lost Daughter, was more unpalatable than watching a pair of Rikishi sumo wrestlers having a match where they both have a case of the runs. This is how bad that movie was. And then Stay Close is a show where nothing happens and you just sit there going, I don't understand a damn thing. I paid thorough attention to this show and none of it makes sense. And then Red Notice is so bad that they take two people that I thoroughly enjoy in almost all of their stuff, Gal Gadot and Dwayne Johnson, and make them insufferable over the span of a little bit more than 2 hours, with the lone exception, the one bright spot in this film, of course, being Ryan Reynolds, because that's all he does. All of his quips are worth it. all of the script writing, all of the action scenes are not. And again, it comes in at more than 2 hours long. So not only is everything that Netflix is producing right now crap, apparently, because remember, I don't watch a lot of this, but it's also long. So you get crap and crap that takes your time. That is the worst combination of things. My suggestion to Netflix, hire some editors. If you're going to produce crap, if you're going to create visual diarrhea, at least cut down the time. Can you do that for me? That's all I'm asking you of Netflix, because apparently I will still watch this crap. Just please waste less of my time. That shouldn't be too hard, right? All right, this is Jake Donnelly. Thank you for tuning in to yet another Jake Take with me. I don't think the next one is going to be a movie review, but because I'm watching a lot of movies and because I'm watching a lot of television shows, it's the stuff that's pissing me off lately. And the rule for these Jake Takes is whatever angers me, I'm going to tell you guys about. So I hope you enjoy it. And if you don't, I don't care, because I probably don't like you either. All right, though, this is Jake Donnelly. I do wish you and yours a very happy and healthy rest of your day, wherever and whenever you are watching this. Bye, though, for now.